Hey, welcome. Episode 49. Sorry for being 1 minute late, but we were super excited talking about antennas, propagation.
1 minute late? That's better than usual. I don't know. We're usually 2 minutes late. That's pretty good. That's an improvement.
So welcome to episode 49. Today we have a guest. But first of all, how are you, David, today?
I'm good. I haven't had enough coffee, so I'm going a little crazy over here and not even thinking about the direction in which antennas need to face, but we'll talk about that in a moment. Let's introduce the guest down there, though.
Hello, Xose. How are you?
Hi. Good. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to this improvised happy hour.
Yeah. You want to give a little introduction, Jose, of your background, your role, where you are located?
Okay, yeah. I'm located near Barcelona as Mark. We are good friends. We've done things together before. I've been working on IoT stuff for the last 5 years, maybe, as part of a startup called allwize, which I will showcase some things I have on my desk here. And now I'm working for RAK Wireless on the IoT gateways section, trying to figure out new ideas and this kind of stuff. But actually I'm a freelancer, so I've done a lot of things with different clients and different projects and very interesting stuff. And I'm astrophysicist, if you want to know.
Astrophysicist? Is that the same thing as a rocket scientist?
Not at all. No, it's something very cool that it's not useful. So yeah, that's it.
Sounds cool to me. Sounds like it could be useful. I don't know. I'm not an astrophysicist. May have to pick your brain on that later. But for today, as you can probably guess, the topic at hand is going to be LoRa. And we are going to talk about upgrading your Things Network LoRa gateways from V2 to V3. And we're going to do it the easy way. I had originally lobbied and said, you know what, forget that. We should do it the hard way. But then I thought, well, we only have an hour. We probably better do it the easy way. So I'm excited to learn about that. Mark, you attended the Things conference earlier this year. Was that January?
Yeah, it was
maybe
February, I guess.
Yeah. And, you know, they had gone over some information there about doing the upgrades and the forthcoming V3. And then I remember, what episode was it where we showed off Basic Station? You know 17. All the numbers. Has it been that long?
17, imagine, 32 episodes.
Holy cow. Yeah, that's 6 months ago. So it's been a while. So it's definitely time to revisit and talk LoRa. And I see AB, David, did you get a haircut? Yeah, I did. It was actually a couple weeks ago. You may have missed a few episodes. We did it live on the stream. Mark flew in from Barcelona. He cut my hair. No, just teasing. But yes, AB, that is correct. All right, Mark, anything else? Did I get that correct? Do you want to talk a little bit about the V3 specification? Should we give a little bit of background?
With Xose, we can give a bit of introduction, but yeah, let me explain a bit what happened during these 32 episodes.
Okay.
So actually on the episode 17, we got Xose as well from RAK, who helped to set up the Basic Station repository for building the new LoRaWAN gateways with the Things networks using a new packet forwarder at that moment. Well, new, it was 1 year old, but it was something innovative. The thing is, after the Things conference, the Things network people announced that they are moving from their platform from V2 to V3, and they are going to call it the Things stack based on the Things industries. So they are forcing everyone running a Things network gateway from V2 to V3 before the end of this year. So with Xose, we were working on, basically, Xose made a big PR on the Basic Station repository here at Balena Labs to make this Basic Station repository, so to simplify and reduce the friction to move the fleets of gateways of these LoRaWAN, of these gateways owners and to move it from V2 to V3. And actually, you are going to see that you almost can do it with Alexa, right?
Yeah, almost.
You can do it with Alexa. Alexa, please upgrade my LoRa gateway from V2 to V3.
Yeah, we're working on the skill for that. Yeah.
Okay. That's a big undertaking and a big ask by the Things Network, because obviously there are a lot of them out there, but the good news is it's not that difficult. So we'll get into that in a few minutes. But any more context there, Mark, or should we try to sneak in a little bit of what's on your desk before we get going?
Maybe we can, I don't know if Xose wants to complement my introduction.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to say that as from the Things Industries, they were very clear in that migrating the gateways is the very last thing we should do. So we are thinking about the Things Network, which is a commons network. You give away your connection to other people connecting to the network so they can use it. So your gateway connected to V3 will still be able to give access to these devices in V2 and V3. But your gateway, if you migrate the gateway to V3, then automatically all devices in V2 will become useless. So gateway migration should be the very last thing to do. We must migrate first devices and applications, and the last minute of the 31th December, migrate the gateways, it might be a problem because you have to be ready for that beforehand. I mean, not okay. 31 with the wine and everything.
Yeah, the 31st of December at midnight. Hang on a minute. I'm going to be busy at that time. I'm not upgrading my gateway at that time.
The cool thing is that you can actually test the migration with Balena right now and migrate one by one all your gateways from V2 to V3 and then migrate them back to V2 just to test that it works. And then the very last minute, you can just change a variable and everything will be shifted to the new version. That will be pretty cool.
So IoTJR is asking, is this happening at the end of this year? I don't think there is an official date, right?
It's not official, but everything seems to point to that date.
Okay.
So final of the year. Yeah.
Well, the good news then is, what is it right now? April. So you're getting towards mid-April. So you've got what, 7.5 months to procrastinate. And then on December, call it December 29th or 30th.
December 20th.
Review this episode.
December 21st, we go on vacation here. So it's a good moment.
Okay. So you get it handled on December 20th. Okay, good. Gotcha.
Before getting into what's on your desk, David, two things. First one, we are going to live build this fleet of LoRaWAN gateways. If you have a LoRa concentrator and a Pi or a Fin or whatever, just let us know on the chat and let's do it all together. Okay, let's have fun all together. We will invite you to the application that we are going to make with this. So if you have a LoRa concentrator, just let us know on the chat. And we will do it all together. Second thing,
feeling some of these folks might have them.
I'm sure IoTJR has one.
I'm thinking maybe might have one too.
Maybe.
I'm not sure. We'll find out.
Second thing, David, I think at Balena we are hiring.
I think you're right.
Yeah. So maybe it's good to mention that before jumping into what's on the desk. That I think it will be.
I flashed an SD card just yesterday, and at the end of that process, I noticed that Etcher said that we are hiring an Etcher engineer. So I know that role is open. Let's go take another quick look. I'll drop into the chat the URL.
I put it on
front-end engineer, security engineer, and design your own role. Let me drop in the link to it.
Oh, you got faster than me today.
No, you got it on the screen. I got it in the chat. So yeah, by all means, check those out. The Etcher one, I have a feeling there's a lot of work that could be done there because there's some devices. The way that we flash the Balena Fin by simply attaching it to the laptop using Etcher and writing directly to it. I think there are some other devices out there with eMMC that would be super cool to implement. I don't know exactly how that is accomplished, but if you're an etcher engineer and you know how to do that, by all means, get your application in, because that would be super cool.
Okay, before you sing the What's on Your Desk song, actually last week we got JR saying that yesterday was his birthday.
He
wanted to get the Christmas What's on Your Desk song. Is that correct?
He requested the Christmas jingle. I thought we were going to have Jose sing it for us today, but if he wants the Christmas jingle, we can do it.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell.
What's on your desk?
just for I shot JR, but I don't know. I think we could probably have Jose record a RAK version of it, but we could do it later.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Who wants to go first? I'm afraid that Jose probably has enough devices to fill the entire hour. So I think, Mark, you or I better go first.
Okay, go first. I will go quickly.
Okay.
Because, I moved to a new apartment and I found a box with this. But wait a second. Well, can you
let's see what that is. That is... Hold on, I'm going to zoom in on you. Where's my mouse? Let's get you larger. Okay. All right, I can read the name on it. Advantech. They are a device manufacturer, obviously, as you're holding one up. But they make some good hardware. And what was the model number on it? A UTX3115. Yeah. Okay. Let me see the ports on it.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see the ports. So we have two Ethernet, probably for data and so CAN bus, Modbus, and probably Internet. We have USB 3.0 and 2.0 audio. Plus, we have HDMI, mini HDMI,
VGA, a serial hookup. Holy cow! And antennas on the side.
Wi-Fi and 3G. And there is a SSD.
Plus 3G. And hold on, four antenna hookups? Let me see. Sure. There's two on. No, I'm looking at the gold connect. Yeah, two on each side.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So I have here the antennas.
Antenna kit. Yeah. So AB is. Hold on, bring it back. Yeah, AB is saying it's an IoT gateway. Absolutely.
It's an industrial IoT gateway. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to balenize it very soon.
Yeah, that's a nice piece of hardware. We definitely need to see what we can do to get Balena running on that.
Yeah, and maybe I will keep some other things that I have for next. What's on your desk?
Okay. So all right. Well, mine, I'm going to go fast also. Yeah. Let's change over to Blurry Cam, which, by the way, is trademarked. Blurry Cam is trademarked, patented. There is Blurry Cam. All right. And on my desk this week, I was helping a customer get up and running with cellular on Balena. And it had been a while. There's a previous episode we did where we used the Twilio Super SIM to connect a device to balenaCloud with no Ethernet, no Wi-Fi. I had actually forgotten just how simple that actually is. So to deploy IoT devices over cellular network, this happens to be a Raspberry Pi I'm using, but this hat here by 6Fab is a super cool, easy to use little, I don't know if I want to remove the modem. Yeah, let's see if I can get it. It might go, there it goes. There's the 6Fab hat. It's just a base hat, as you can see. You drop your MPCIe modem in. This one happens to be a Quectel. You could use other brands as well. And your SIM card slot is in there as well. I've got the Twilio SIM already in. Come on, Blurry Cam, focus. It's a little too bright. Other SIM cards would work as well. I know Soracom makes some nice kit. I think the hologram units are pretty good also. I just happen to have the SIM card, or the Twilio one handy. And you just simply hook it up like so. And It was incredibly easy, came right online. Other thing on my desk is this cheapo solar power or solar battery pack, because I need to start doing some experimentation. If I'm going to get a fin up on the roof, it's got to be soon. It's already the middle of April. I am not climbing up on my roof in Phoenix, Arizona in the middle of June or July. So I'm starting to experiment with how much runtime I can get with the fin off of a solar battery pack. I'm a little bit afraid that the battery is going to melt or explode up there, because if you remember last summer, we hit a full 100 degrees Celsius, 107 actually on the fin. So I'm a little bit nervous about this thing blowing up, but in the name of science, we're gonna have to give it a try. What do you do on the roof?
David usually cooks in the roof.
Yeah, I cook. Yeah, throw some eggs, some steak. All right, let's come back and we can hand it over to Jose.
Oops.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Bring him back, Big. Go ahead, Mark. Get him.
Hey, good. So on my desk,
start the clock, David.
Oh, start the clock. Hold on. I want to count. I'm going to count the items.
Count them. Okay. So first, we're going to do a lot of stuff with LoRaWAN gateways now. So I have like 4 of them here. We were counting how many gateways I have at home, and we reached 9. So I have like 9 gateways here in this room, but I will only show you 4 now, which is a Raspberry Pi 4 with a RAK 4833 concentrator, a RAK 2287. The problem with RAK numbers is that they are too complicated. Another RAK concentrator on a Raspberry Pi 3, 2245. And then, wait, I have this one. Of course, this is not the antenna that has to go. This one is ready to be deployed on the tower here in my hometown, but I need the permission from the municipality yet. And it is a Raspberry Pi with an IMST IC880A.
A what?
IC880A.
Was that a 0 or the letter O?
0.
0. Okay.
So and the antenna for that gateway is this. The antenna for this thing is this.
Now we're getting somewhere.
This is a RAK 1 meter, 5.8 dBi gain antenna. So these are the gateways that I will be using with Mark now in the workshop. Aside from that, I have still some stuff by allwize, which is one of the companies I worked for.
Tell us more about allwize. Maybe that's interesting.
Yeah, allwize is a startup in Barcelona that we were working with different protocol, LP1 protocol, not LoRa, but another one called WISE, which has already some million devices deployed in France and Spain and other countries in Europe. And we were doing trying to help people get used to use WISE. WISE is WIZE, okay? With Arduino hardware like this one, which is a shield for the Arduino Uno, or this one, which is the same form factor as an MKR by Arduino. So these are WISE ready. The good thing about WISE is that maybe the modulation is not as complex or as modern as LoRa, but it works at 169 megahertz, which means it has a deeper penetration. And that's cool when you have things underground, for instance, and this kind of stuff. So it can reach as far as LoRa, because you can use much more power. The regulation allows up to half watt. So that's a lot of power to send information, but it can reach very, very deep underground too. So that's cool.
So the focus is the smart meters, right? The WISE
Yeah,
protocol.
actually, this technology is used by people like Suez or Gas de France that they use it in their smart meters for gas or water metering. And I have more stuff here. I'm doing radio stuff with amplifiers, attenuators. I have a RF Explorer here, very nice tool, and an SDR, software-defined radio, to play with. And then I'm also reviewing some other gateways, crazy gateways like this one.
Yeah, you would love that
What
one.
is
David.
that?
I saw that.
This is a really good, it's a nice one. It's a Cortex, it's a company from China. And actually it has a Raspberry Pi 3 inside with a concentrator, but it's a weird Raspberry Pi 3 because it's not fully mounted. It lacks some of the USB ports.
Yeah, where's the other set of USB ports?
They're not populated. They are not mounted. And also, what else? It does not have so it has a hat on top of it with a lot of pogo pins to connect to different stuff inside in the Raspberry Pi and bring it up to the hat where the concentrator is. And it's it's compact. It's small. It's good. And it has a display, which is always a good thing to have.
With no film, by the way.
You took the film off of it? You're supposed to leave the little plastic film on.
I usually don't. Look at this.
Oh, yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's the correct way. That's the correct. You leave that film
Usually
on.
don't.
That's the built-in screen protector there.
Hey, and he's protecting this. This is the device that Ketil killed during his.
Yeah, this is an ESP32 with LoRa.
That's the one that Ketil said was trash and ruined and threw across the room. And here you are protecting the thing. I love it.
It's a nice device.
All right, we have a couple of quick questions.
We have questions,
Yeah, so the very first thing is, iShotJR is asking, don't they conflict with each other? With that many devices in there, I mean, do they step on each other's toes for spectrum or bandwidth or frequency? How does that work?
I guess that if I had them sending messages, but they are mostly receiving. So I have not noticed any problem that I can be aware of. So maybe there's something on it, but nothing serious.
Okay. What is the backplane?
The backplane, yeah. I bought it, and I don't remember now where from. I think it was by CH2I, which is a user in GitHub. You can look for it. And he was the first to do a Raspberry Pi gateway with this same concentrator. And I think it was him that also designed the backplane, but I'm not sure.
All right. If you happen to remember later, if you ping Mark or I, we can pass it over to AB and let him know if it comes to you.
Sure.
And then a link, please, to the gateway. AB, is that which one are you referring to?
Pi 3, I guess.
The one with the Pi 3 and the IMST. You mean?
No, the Pi 3 that it's depopulated.
The one that was not populated, is that the one?
Yeah, I can send you to, but I have to look for it.
Okay, no problem. Well, find it later on.
It's by a company called COTX, like COTX Networks. Like this, I can write here somewhere, right?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, what gateway is not Chinese?
Yeah, well, so yeah, he's referring to the one that was the Pi that was not populated. So yeah, if you can find it now, great. If not, pass it over to us later, and we'll get it over to AB. But otherwise, I think we better start upgrading.
Yeah,
we'll have 30 minutes to have fun. I don't know, no volunteers, right?
Nobody volunteered. I can't believe it.
Oh my God. All right, so let's start. If there are volunteers, feel free to mention that.
Yep.
So I will start with this. So I will convert this fin. This is actually a fin 1.0 with a RAK concentrator, the 2287.
Make you larger real quick. There we go. Yep.
So we will convert this into a gateway with TTN V2. I will. Yeah, you can do that from Balena App. If you don't know what's Balena App, it's an IoT and edge marketplace for your single board computers. And we will start from there. Xose will move his gateways to the application that I will create. And then we will connect it to TTN V2. Xose will talk as well about the nodes, the sensors and so on. We'll show things like this later. And then we will show you how to move them to V3. Well, how to individually move create them on V3 on the things stack. And finally, we will show you how to move all the complete fleet of gateways into V3. So maybe let's start. Let me share my screen.
All right. I'm just going to sit back and learn.
Yeah, you need to buy a...
Watch the pro.
By the way, I sent you guys the 2 links you were asking for.
Yep, thank you for that. I grabbed those. Yeah, I did. I put them into the chat. And AB
the backplane was by Gonzalo Casas, which is a good friend from Switzerland. And he did the design. Yeah.
So actually, if you go to the, let me start. If you go to Balena App and you search for TTN, we have here this application, TTN V2, V3 Basic Station. Actually, on Read More, there is the GitHub repo where we have everything documented. Everything that we are going to explain, it's here documented. Okay, but let's click Deploy with Balena.
I'm going to grab that link, that URL for folks, and I'll drop that into chat while you're doing that.
Happy hour. Let's do it for fun. So that should be okay for Raspberry Pi 3. And so we have tons of variables that we are going to explain in a bit. Okay, but I am going to create and deploy this application, Happy Hour. And what's going to happen now is that the code on the GitHub repo, it's going to get released on the Balena builders. Let's see if we can see here the release.
Which repo? This is the basic station repo?
Yeah, this is the basic station repo.
Got it.
The only thing that we made some massive PR in the last month in order to enable the fleet owners to move from V2 to V3 in a simple way. Before it was not super simple because when we created the basic station, it didn't exist, the V3 concept. Okay, so the release is getting built right now. So what I'm going to do, because I don't want to add device, show the edge, etc. I think we have already done that in the last 30, 40 episodes.
48 other episodes.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the word to Xose while I do this. And maybe he can talk about, he can maybe share his screen and talk about the nodes. The LoRa nodes are the sensors that connect to the gateways. And there is a big problem because moving them from V2 to V3, sometimes it's not that easy. If they are in places that are not accessible, some of them it will be hard to move from V2 to V3. But maybe Xose can tell us more about that because he knows a lot about that.
Perfect.
Yeah. And meanwhile, I will put everything on place.
Yeah. So as I was saying before, the priority should be for all of us to migrate our applications and devices to V3 as soon as possible before V2 closes. So this will be the first step to migrate devices, and then once everything is ready, and by the end of the year, migrate the gateways with the procedure we are about to show you. So to do this migration, the people at TTI, they have created a migration tool, which I copied to the chat. Yeah, that one. You can download it and use it. Basically, it's a way to create a JSON file with the definition of all the devices you want to migrate from V2 to V3. And I can do a quick demo to make it work. I have a WizBlock here, which is a development tool by RAK Wireless, and the same that Mark has. So, and I have, let me share my screen. Share screen. Okay. Which one? Not sure which one I said now. Okay.
I'm doing Etcher right now. I give you rights. I granted access to the repo just to let you know.
I think it's this one. No, not this one. Which where is it? I thought it was named after this one. Yeah, got it. So it's a terminal. I'm a terminal guy.
Can you share it, David, please?
Yeah, let's grab that.
I'm now connecting my
There
fin.
we go. There it
Yeah.
is. Yep.
So I have, this is the terminal. I have some, this is a V2 to V3 project with a couple of files here. First, there's a migrate script, which, as you can see, basically it sets 3 variables: the name of the application ID you want to migrate, an access key you have to access those devices. This is something you can delete afterwards, and the frequency plan you're using, which for me it's Europe 863 and to 86770, right? And then there are 2 lines here. Actually, we need just one of them. The first one is a dry run one, which basically lets you test the output of the script, and the input is a devices ID text, which is basically the name of the devices you want to migrate. So I have an application, this application, which is called XB WizBlock Tracker, and I have just one device on this application, which is WizBlock 01, right? So if I do the first thing, the first line, which is a dry run, it won't do anything. It will just, I have to first export and then do this. Then, as you can see, it just outputs a JSON file with all the information for that device. This is the information that V3 will need to have to import this device into V3 afterwards. So once we've done this, I can just, I will migrate this and do the real stuff, which will generate the devices.json file. Okay, so if I ls here, I have the devices.json file here. So now I can go to my, I have to switch from one to another one, stop sharing screen and share another screen.
No problem.
With my browser. This one. Yeah, so I have an XP.
Now, there it goes.
I have an XP WizBlock Tracker application on V3. This is V3, not V2. This is how V2 looks like. And this is how V3 looks like. It's actually a completely different server and with a different application. Actually, they wrote everything from scratch again, so it's completely new. And as you can see, there are no devices on this application yet. So I have this import and devices here button, which I can just select. The only format actually is the thing stack.json, which is the format that generates that tool. I select a file and I have it here. This is a file I just created. It's 630 for me. And I just can, create devices. I think everything is ready. Operation finished, proceed, and I have my WizBlock here now. And since it's working, since it's sending, so one thing that might happen now is that I'm using over-the-air activation for this device. So I might need to reset it to get new keys for the device on this platform. So I'm gonna reset the device, just pushing the button and wait for it to join. Hopefully now, here's the join request. And if I tap it, this device has a GPS and an accelerometer. If I tap on it, then it shows the data about the accelerometer here somewhere, I know where. Yeah, decoded payload. Apparently the GPS has not locked a position yet, but yeah, it will eventually. It will do.
Yeah, so that typically takes a little bit.
Yeah. So this is it. I mean, it's as simple and as complicated as this because, of course, things might happen. But the script so far, they are working on it. I've been using the last version, which is 0.5.0. And it works pretty well. yeah, I mean, that's the way to do it right now. So this would be the first thing, to create the applications on V3 and migrate your devices to V3. Of course, the drawback here is that you have to somehow rejoin the network, which might be a problem if your device is not accessible, unless you have some way to tell him every day reboot or whatever, something that makes it rejoin with a new network and get new keys from V3. Right?
Okay.
So this will be it. Now we have the application on V3, and it's working.
So you just have to do that on December 31st at 11.
I would do it on the 30. Just a little bit of margin, just in case.
Okay.
Yeah, so third thing, yeah. So
so
people have a lot of time to move the nodes to V3, and then they will be compatible with gateways on V2 and V3.
Maybe do it right before you start celebrating and having too much wine or champagne.
Exactly.
All right, so let's get into the gateways again. I have the releases is still building. I have my fin already there. Maybe it's time. You are already sharing your screen. Maybe it's time you want to move your gateways.
Oh, yeah, sure. Let me share it again. Sorry.
No problem.
So we are. So we did this demo some weeks ago. So we are gonna just move devices from one application to the other, because that's probably the most simple thing to do, right?
So
I know that David prefers just to edge share all the time, no?
So this is the application I have to move the gateways to, right? Happy Hour.
Exactly.
Okay. So I have my gateways on my account on this application, Basic Station. The four of them, one of them is actually having problems, but yeah, whatever.
too much interference in there.
maybe that guy was right. So it's incredibly easy to move them to a new application. Just select them, actions, move device, and just select the Happy Hour application here. And since there are 4 devices I'm migrating, that's the 4 of them. And that's it. And now I have my 4 gateways and Mark's fin here on the same application.
Mm-hmm.
And since I flashed it with an old version of the Basic Station, I think they might be updating. Right. They are updating their containers right now.
Exactly.
So those devices were in your account running what you had deployed, the containers, the workload that you had built previously, whether that was yesterday, last week, last month, whatever. They were running your app. You now moved them over to Mark's app. They're going to check in and realize, wait a minute, this application is different. What are the containers that I am supposed to be running at this point? If they match, hey, great, fine, then, done. But otherwise, they would begin a download process of taking the workload that is part of his application.
Right. Another thing to note here for people using TTN is that you might have all these gateways on a single Balena application, but that doesn't mean that you have to have them in the same console and the same account at TTN. They can be at different accounts at TTN. So you still have control over your data, over the gateways you have at TTN, and over the traffic they are forwarding, right?
Exactly. So from balenaCloud, you can control, you can have a unique point of source code and update, all the fleet. But yeah, that communication can be managed independently of the source code. Yeah, absolutely. Right. The release is still building, but maybe we can get into the environment variables to explain how we're gonna first set up the gateway on V2, and then how we are gonna do the V3.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we pray the demo gods.
We didn't say our prayers to the demo gods. That's true.
It's not a demo if everything goes right.
Yeah.
It's not a demo if everything works at first. The variables. This is a very interesting point when using Balena, since you have to take you have two different levels. You have the application level and you have the devices level. So you can set these variables at application level, and then you can override these values with custom values at device level. So for the application, which is the place I'm now, Happy Hour environment variables, we have all these variables, which are the ones that Mark showed before, right? So basically, we are saying we are using an SX1301 concentrator, which is not true for all the gateways. For instance, I have one here that uses the SX1302. So the next one, I mean. We are also setting which is the GPIO for the reset pin, if the gateway has a GPS or not, whatever. And then we have this TTN stack version and TTN region, which are the variables that will let us migrate these gateways from V2 to V3 in a very easy way, just by changing them. So right now we are using V2, and for these gateways, we are using the European server, EU.
Exactly. If someone joins that it's not from Europe, then for that gateway, we can change that parameter, right? This parameter actually helps to set up the Wi-Fi, the URI, not to connect to the WebSocket.
Actually, you can also use a different one, which is TC URI, which means you can set the full URI of the LoRaWAN server without using these convenient ones, right? On the devices side, for instance, I have this one, which is a different concentrator type, and I have the device variables. And as you can see, I have overridden the value of the concentrator with the right one for this gateway. This is cool because it means we can manage a whole fleet of different devices based on Raspberry Pi 3, on Fin, on Raspberry Pi 4, with different concentrators and manage them all from the same point, which is great.
That's awesome, yeah.
Exactly. At the moment, no, there are, we accept 2 different models. I don't know if there are more, but yeah, it's the SX1301.
1303 is about to come out. Actually,
exactly.
RAK,
it's the next one,
RAK
right?
It's the next one that RAK will release. Will be a new concentrator of RAK with the new chip by Semtech, which is really fast and cool.
But this is managed by Semtech, right?
Yeah, the chips are managed by Semtech.
No, I mean the SX, this name SX something. This is
SX is a Semtech mark.
Okay.
For chips, yeah.
Okay.
So this is managed by Semtech. Actually, the RAK concentrator will be called RAK 5146. I think I got it right.
Why not a 2.2?
Yeah, there is a naming convention. It's an explanation.
Okay, there's a 5 series. Okay.
Yeah. So we have the application and we have the devices. Some of these devices, actually, they must be okay. They are updating. So the target release is factory build, which is not built.
Because the release is still building.
It's still building. If you click on that little spinning icon, you should get the build the hyperlink to that, right? Yeah. It's still running. I don't know.
Or not available.
Oops. Yeah. Okay. Do you have one of your applications available for Basic Station, Joseph?
Yeah,
maybe go the other way around. Mark, move yours to his.
Sorry, say again.
Yeah, we can do this. We can move all these. Oh.
Yeah, I just invited RG.
Okay. This is a new one.
Or you can try to do another release that it should be quick. Give me a sec.
Why are the builders taking so long? Somebody might be building a big container somewhere. There could be a massive build going on. We should have warned everyone.
The application builder had a major outage. So actually, Jose, you're sharing screen. Go to status.balena.io. Maybe we can show that.
Yeah, maybe the builder is dead. Hope not. I had some builds I need to run later.
So we can see, kind of glitch on the application builder. So if you go to the last square on the application builder, on the top.
The second one down, application builder. Next one, right
this
there.
one.
Just
Major
it started
outage.
with you, Mark. You killed the builder.
Let me try again. I don't know if
You killed it. You took down the builder.
What are you doing? Mark?
All right, joking aside, there's certainly the problem right there. We'll have the engineers take a look at that. But I'm wondering, what if you guys move the devices over to
my application.
Right.
Yeah, because I just destroyed mine.
Okay, so
I'm trying to delete all them.
I'm going to move them back to basic station.
Yeah.
I don't know what will happen
It's
with
by
it.
3? Is it by 3? Okay.
It's by 3. Yes. 6 devices, right?
Let's see if you have the power.
All right. Now we know that at least 4 of them.
So my 4 are already on the release they should be.
Because never got deleted. Okay.
And these 2, Mark, it's downloading my image. So the image I have attached to my application.
That application is already built. That's just a matter of now pulling it down. No need to build it, just need to download the container itself. So, perfect.
Yeah. And Arjit's gateway, it's updating. Well, actually, my gateways are updating too.
Is the
Maybe because they were...
The supervisor might just be checking to see that the current release versus the expected release is the same.
Arjit's gateway is also here.
Or what happened is, when you moved the 4 devices to Mark's, the supervisor said, okay, I had these 4 devices had a set of containers. I'm now part of Mark's fleet. Mm-hmm. It has an application currently being built. Let me get rid of these containers that are already here. I know I'm not going to need them, and just wait patiently for the build to finish.
That's exactly what happened. If you see here, deleting images.
Yep.
And now it's downloading again my image.
Yeah.
Actually, this the very same image.
Exactly. It had already thrown away the containers and was just waiting with open arms for that new one to arrive. That's okay.
So this one is already running now. I can do this location stuff we did last time, which is cool.
This is super cool. We are building a worldwide. Xose, grant me access to your application because I cannot get access to it. So go to members of the menu.
Yeah.
No, not on your organization. No, this is for get into the application.
Application, basic station, members.
Yes.
Add member, and your name is
Mark 6.
Like this.
Yeah.
I'd like to know who the other 5 marks are.
Yeah, me too. I wanted to be the first. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. I see it. Thank you. All right.
So
okay. So it's
so all these applications, all these gateways are
already. Got them. Yep, they've got them. So now on that map that you showed a moment ago, we saw Arjit's over there in India, and we saw Barcelona. But if you zoom in, I can't quite tell. Let me make this a little bit larger here as well.
Zoom in Barcelona.
Zoom in around the Barcelona region. I'm just, there they are. Okay, 2 of them are there. What I couldn't tell was if Mark's device was showing as online or not. Just from that zoomed out perspective. Yeah. I was only able to see.
So we are not that close.
Eyes.
So with the Xose antennas or mine, we cannot connect to each other yet. It's pretty far away.
Well, maybe if we use some kind of directional antennas, we could. I don't know.
Yeah,
like Yagi ones, the ones they use.
That's maybe another episode talking about
that would be. That'd be interesting. I'd like to see the range.
All right. Maybe.
So yeah,
I can.
So now we have all these gateways on the same application, all of them running V2. And of course, for RJITs, for instance, I guess in the device variables, we should be using a different TTN region. I'm not sure, RJIT.
Yeah, what region do they use?
Yeah, it's India, right?
Yeah, it's India. I think it's
Maybe it works with Europe, with the ECPM server.
And I think this is. Let me check it.
AP, Asia Pacific? I don't know.
No, there's no IN. No.
No.
There is China, AS, Asia, AS1, AS2. I'm not sure which one is it. So yeah, maybe Arjit can.
Well, he does say
It works for you.
with EU as well.
Then I will.
Yeah, at the moment. I mean, at the end, it's one thing. It's like the concentrator configuration, right? That needs to be like configured for India packages, right? The other is the packet forwarder. I think at the moment, no.
Yeah, actually, what
allows.
Yes, what it's doing, it's sending all the information to the server in Amsterdam, and Arjit can, of course, access that very same server, so he can see the information, no problem. So let me show you,
because my device is I'm starting from scratch. Maybe I can show how to create the gateway on TTN in case that V2, configure it, and then do it on V3, and we show how to do the magic.
Yeah, let's do some magic. Absolutely.
You want to do it, Mark?
Sure. So because yours are already configured on TTN. Yeah,
I have them on V2 right now. So I have a lot of gateways here, as I told you before.
So maybe
a lot of them.
Okay. Some on the same application. If you remember from episode 17, what we were doing is copying the EUI that it's needed to configure this with the things network. And then we get into console.thethingsnetwork.org. We go to gateways, and we have this. They don't use red. That's interesting. They use yellow. So near the end of 2021,
yeah,
you have to migrate. Okay?
So on December 31st, when you see this in red, you'll know.
Exactly. Maybe it changes the colors. So remember that we are using basic station packet forwarder. That it's a new one, but you have to check. I'm using the legacy packet forwarder. Okay. So
that threw me for a loop.
The TTN, the EUI that we copied. Description. This is a FIN 1.0 RAK 2287. It's in Europe, but yeah, if you're in India, you have to select. In the US, it's an indoor antenna, and register the gateway. It says that it's connected. Then we have to create some variables to register it properly. Okay, so one is the gateway ID. I will copy that. I will go to device variables, and I will need to create that, right? So this is GW key, if I'm not wrong. This is GW ID. Is that correct, Joseph? Yes.
Yes.
And the next one, it's to copy the key, the secret key that we will disclose now. Okay, so now the device is configured with the credentials of the Things network, with the model that for me it's SX1302. I have a RAK 2287, region Europe, and version 2. So in theory, if the logs go, I don't know why.
Demo gods.
No, I have it on the other screen. I can see the logs. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, it's joining the.
You can check in the console if it gets pinged.
Go to the console.
22 seconds ago, yes, it's working.
Yeah.
No, if you go to the overview, you can see the last scene.
Yeah, it's. Wow, this changes. I didn't know that. Okay. I cannot. I wanted to test my WizBlock, but I don't know why today is lazy and it's not running. Maybe it's related with some solar experiment that I also was doing, David. Yeah, that's for another episode.
Let's try it.
Throw it across the room. See if that helps.
So now we are at the point that we wanted, right? We are at the point where we wanted to this is the point that everyone should be right now. I'm on TTN with my gateway, forwarding data from sensors, etc. So now it's time to create the gateway on the things stack V3, and then prepare for the change. So let's go to the things stack, and this is the URL. I'm gonna share it on the chat. Maybe it's gonna get crazy, but where is the StreamYard? It's here. But yeah, sorry for that.
Whoa.
So yeah, let's go to gateways. Yeah, maybe I will need to delete. Let's delete this. Go out of here. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's the same or not, but yeah. So you will get into the things stack. You can log in actually with the same login. And what we are going to do is we are going to say add gateway. I'm going to say fin 10.22.87. Okay, I will need to copy the UI, but it's exactly the same. So we say fin 10.22.87. We say that it's a public gateway. We select the frequency plan that it's the Europe, the recommended. Oops, to this cycle enforced. And let's create the gateway. And at this point, the next thing that we need to do is to create some API keys. Okay, so I go here, I create an API key with an individual right that it's link as gateway to a gateway server to traffic exchange. And just, we don't need name, just click here. I copy the API key and we go back to balenaCloud and create a new variable that it's TC key, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah,
Xose?
right. Yes, all right.
Paste it here. Okay. So we have everything that it's needed to move to V3. I can do like a quick test, actually changing the region to EU1 and overriding the TTN stack version to 3 to see what happens.
Say your prayers.
Exactly. Let's see if it loads the logs or not. Oh my God. I don't know why. I don't know, Xose, if you see my logs on, but...
Let me take a look at it.
The container says stopping. Hold on a minute. What's down
Yeah,
at the
it's
bottom?
starting.
Yeah, hang on.
Yeah, I can see your logs. I can see your logs.
All right.
But it says connected.
Yeah.
16, 17
I'm
seconds ago.
gonna switch, Mark. I'm gonna switch your screen to
Thank
Jose's for a moment. There we go, and then make that a little larger. And yep, there's your logs right there.
So here we can see. I can see more logs. Well,
The concentrator started.
And everything looks fine.
And let me try to send some data. I don't think
Sorry.
it's gonna work. Right?
If you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, then now the recommendation is just with this operation done, get back into the version 2.
Yeah.
So we just had this window of time.
Yeah, that's very
Sorry,
important to test the migration first, like Mark just did, like migrating one by one, and checking that it's working on V3, and then move them back to V2 until the final day. So yeah,
final day. That sounds like
December 31st. There's going to be a lot of people logging into that.
You'll have to buy some new servers at Balena to cope with all those people. switching things.
Okay, so I moved to V2 actually again, and
Yes.
in theory it's working. I see some data, maybe, yes. I don't know. But
well, we can do, and then what we can do is do it the same. So that imagine now it's 31st December 2021, and we are ready to do the crazy thing, which is migrating everything from V2 to V3. I'm doing this at application level, so automatically all devices will be switching. So if I get into one of these, it's
Do them
killing the
all in
service and
one fell swoop, the whole fleet.
the whole
actually,
fleet.
yeah, this is the definition of fleet management, David,
Yep.
isn't it?
That is fantastic. Rather than go and update all of the gateways one by one, in a traditional workflow of if you had these things distributed around and had some, public or local IP address that you had to SSH to and run them one at a time. I mean, in this scenario, what you're doing is literally updating all 6 devices in one go. That's awesome.
As you can see, it went pretty fast because the 4 gateways that I was using, all the 4 of them are already connected to V3. They're working.
Yeah, it's very fast.
Yeah. So if I go to applications, my with tracker application, live data, I can clear this and make it send something.
Uh-oh. There it goes. Give it a second. Wow, he's impatient.
Exactly. This is not real time.
Holy cow.
So I have the information, and I can see that the gateway IDs are... Oh, yes, this is something we forgot to mention, that I can see. So in the metadata that I receive with each message, I get information about the gateways that received message. So I can see that I received the message in my XP is Xose Pérez, it's me, gateway 8, gateway 3, gateway 1, gateway 9, and Packet Broker. Packet Broker is actually the tool that the Things Industries is using to forward all traffic from V2 to V3. So all the applications that are already on V3 will keep on working because the gateways in V2 their messages will be forwarded to V3 by the packet broker. The problem is that these gateways on V3 show up as packet broker, not as the name of the gateway, like the other ones do, as you can see. So yeah, we have 4 of them. This message has been received by 5 different gateways. 4 of them are on V3, which are the 4 I have migrated. And the other one is my desktop gateway I have here in my home. So yeah, it's working.
That's super cool. And that's like, for me, this is one of, this concept of fleet management that makes a lot of sense. We have all the gateways under the same single source code, and manage the connectivity individually. That's
and cool. sometimes for instance, I have a Raspberry Pi here, which is not what I use for a gateway. Actually, if you can see, there's a hat which is just plugged in, no nuts, anything. Yeah, you can zoom in. Yes.
Yeah.
So the hat is like just hanging on top of it, basically, because this gateway I use it for many other things, including other Balena projects I have. So moving the Raspberry Pi from one application to the other is equivalent to delete the SD card and deploy a new project completely, which is cool.
So much faster. I see one last question rolling in from AB here. No changes required for Node. So the LoRa nodes themselves.
Once the node is in V3, then no changes are required. The problem is to migrate the node to V3, which might be a problem if you're not using over-the-air activation, and might be a problem if you have to reset the node to make it rejoin the network.
Yeah, depending upon where those things are located, they might be far out into the wild or in difficult to reach places. So I can see that being a challenge.
Yeah, but the same application ID, application UI, and everything applies from V2 to V3, so you don't need to change that, right?
No, if you're using over-the-air activation, which means the keys are created on join, then no problems.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if we convinced David to install a LoRa gateway on his roof.
I think I might be convinced. I think I'm pretty close. I think my biggest concern is actually going up onto the roof, not so much the LoRa. That's
But you
fine.
said that you wanted to go.
Well, I'm looking outside now. I'm starting to second guess it. I don't know. I have to check the temperature up there first.
Yeah.
So we have another question from AB. Sorry. Can we do a
Firmware
firmware
update over LoRa?
Reset?
No, it's something that might be an option in the future, in future LoRaWAN specifications, but not at the moment. There's no over-the-air updates for LoRa.
This is not allowed
is for
because
WISE.
of the protocol, right?
The protocol has not defined yet this.
And probably sending a firmware update.
Depends on the
with,
size
I
of
don't
the
know,
payload.
it's 24 bytes.
Yeah. For instance, WISE, the other technology I'm working on, it supports over-the-air updates, and basically the concentrators send them chunk by chunk, like in small chunks, and they keep record of which chunks you have already received. Of course, the gateways, the devices have to have a temporary storage solution like an SPA flash or something like that to store these chunks. And when the whole firmware is received and the MD5 or whatever checking you're doing checksum passes, then it flashes the main
Pretty neat.
chip, whatever. Yeah.
Interesting. What else? What did we forget?
I
Move again, Arijit's gateway. Thank you, Arijit, for volunteering.
Yeah.
You're up.
Awesome. Thanks, Arij.
I don't know how to return your gateway back.
It's yours now.
No, it's okay. It was
It's all yours.
On the previous application.
Yeah, because
he can move it back to his own
I'm gonna move
application.
them. I'm gonna move them to your application, Mark, again. Yeah, right.
Okay,
You
thank
can
you.
do it.
What else? I think we can sum up.
Yeah, I think we are good to go.
Yeah, if there are no more questions, what we did today actually was showing how to get the benefit of fleet management with balenaCloud of the LoRaWAN gateways with the Things Network. So the Things Network now it's going to force all the gateway owners to move from V2 to V3 to the Things Stack. It's called the new platform. So we show how to do it in a really easy way. And actually wait till 31st of December,
Yeah.
the day that it's going to be the final day.
Get your
Check the date.
celebration
Check the date.
ready.
I'm not. Yeah, check the date because I'm not 100% sure it's gonna be 31st. So
Exactly.
Maybe
Careful,
they'll
David, that you don't need to go
delay
to
it a
the
few
roof.
days. Maybe they'll delay it a few days to give folks a chance to recover and then do it.
from the hangovers, yeah.
All right. Okay, Arijit, let's talk by email. Don't worry about the shameless plug. So yeah, getting the benefit of the fleet management, just changing some variables, you can move all your fleet of gateways in a really simple way from V2 to V3. If you haven't seen this, go rewind. What else before leaving? Yeah, we already mentioned that Balena is hiring, right?
Yeah,
HR position. We are looking for an HR maintainer, front-end engineer, security engineer.
Or design your own. If you have if you have the experience and background in IoT and fleet management or other parts of the business, and you want to come and join the team, by all means, just use the design your own role link.
And what's about next week, David? You want to explain what's gonna happen next week?
Next week, good point. What's today's date? Is it the 15th, 16th? Yeah, today's the 16th. So next week, there is no IoT Happy Hour, but we will be broadcasting at this time because actually we're doing a release party. And so if you've seen our previous release parties, how many have we done? 3 or 4? Is this number 5?
This is the 5th.
So this will be release party 5. And we are going to be deploying some updates, upgrades to Balena Hub. And like our previous release parties, we will code, deploy, and hang out all live. So they are a lot of fun. They're typically several hours long as we go through the entire process.
Why did you say 7?
Well, no, I said several hours.
Yeah,
several hours. The record is currently 11 and a half hours, but we've gotten it down. So in the past couple, we've been in the 6 to 8 hour range. But so, yeah, it's a lot of fun. Obviously, people come and go. People in the audience come and go. Balena employees come in, come out. We're literally going all day. And it's a lot of fun. So if you get a chance anytime during the day, poke your head in and see where we're at. We keep track of the progress, and we'll do a live build and deployment next week. So no IoT Happy Hour, but release party.
Exactly.
Yep.
Maybe we'll try to do what's on your desk. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll sneak it in. Absolutely. Well, we got to fill 8 hours, right? We got plenty of time.
Exactly.
Oh, that's Jose. Can you come back next week and show everything in those bins behind you there? I think we could get that in 8 hours.
8 hours?
Easy.
I have a room full of bins downstairs here. So
We'll set a record. We'll go for 12 hours then.
Actually, we didn't mention that Xose is one of the creators of Spurna.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's for another episode, maybe.
I don't even know what you're talking about, so we'll do another episode.
All right. I think we are good.
Yeah, I think so.
We
Mark,
had
you
some,
want to...
Actually, I forgot to say that we had some of these.
Yeah, we did have some smoke and some fire, but we survived and we made it.
We survived.
All right. Well, thank you
very much,
everyone.
Jose.
Thank you, Jose, for joining. Definitely appreciate it. Actually, one last question, Marke. What time will it start next week? And that is a great question. Mark, refresh my memory.
I'm not sure it's official, but it will be it will start morning Pacific time zone.
It's
if I'm not wrong.
Morning time Pacific. I want to say it might be as early as 5 a.m. Pacific. I can't remember. Maybe it was 7 a.m. Pacific. I'm not entirely sure that we have truly defined it, but if you keep an eye on...
Follow us, subscribe, click subscribe. And
if you click the bell, you'll get the notification, because when we create the stream, probably Tuesday or Wednesday-ish next week, we'll have the time figured out by then. But morning Pacific time. Previous ones have been all day Europe. This one we're doing West Coast US.
Exactly. All right. Thank you for watching. Thank you for volunteering.
Yep.
And
thank you to our guest.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you to...
All right.
Thank you to you. Thank you very much.
All right. Bye, guys.
All right. Have a good weekend. Bye.
Bye.